welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers. And today I am really super duper excited because finally, I am making a comeback on the YouTube, and this can't be the best. This SSLV launch is the best one for me to make a comeback, and I am just so excited for this. I just can't tell you how excited I am feeling because I have seen this rocket, the model of this rocket, with my eyes, and today I'll actually see this rocket, the actual rocket, flying to the skies and beyond. Oh man, I'm super duper excited for it, and I don't know about you guys, but I am very much excited. But so welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers. Oh god, it has been quite a long time since I said this sentence, and I am glad that I can do it and say these things again. So, welcome to the stream. Welcome Sangeet. Welcome George, Baba Yada, Karthik, Audit Amplifier, BC Stargazer. How are you? And Richard, welcome to the stream. March 2028. Welcome. Fly in the bug. Yes, we do have people. They have not forgotten us. That's good to know. Okay, so right now the conditions, weather conditions are looking kind of good. I mean, it's in Sriharikota. Most of the time the weather is kind of say good. I haven't seen a weather delay with the rocket for quite a long time from ISRO, because ISRO's rocket are very uh, flexible. They are not rigid to the weather conditions. They can just fly in the heavy rain. We have seen the PSLV launch. I also streamed one launch in which it was raining heavily for the PSLV, but still they launch and it launched perfectly fine without any problem. So yes, they are flexible and rough and can sustain any conditions. But right now, let's just understand this rocket, okay? And let's just get to know what the hell is this rocket, because I am telling you guys, this rocket, SSLV rocket, is a game changer. This will disrupt the small sat launch market all over the world. This can do the things which I'll just tell you the characteristics and all those things which this rocket can do, and then you will get to know. Okay, so okay, let's just start by the characteristics only, rather than the specs. So first of all, this rocket is right now, you can say, comes in the cheapest of all the small sat launchers that we have in the world. This can have the fastest turnaround periods, which means more launches of this rocket. This rocket will have a dedicated launch pad which will launch only SSLV rockets. And this rocket, oh, the list just goes on. This rocket is made so that a launch can be done on demand, and that demand, the time of that demand is like just 7 days. I just told you, right? Just it has a turnaround period of 7 days. That's it. The rocket is assembled in just 2-3 days, and then 7 days you can just launch it. In PSLV required 600 officials to work hard and to make sure the rocket gets off to the pad. SSLV requires only 6 people. 6 people can do the job. 6 people can launch this rocket. So this rocket has been made keeping in mind the small sat market that is frequently evolving, and the demand is frequently just increasing. So this rocket is very modularized, very unique. The logistics are very simple, and this can be launched on demand. Obviously you need to book the process and everything needs to go on, but this is a game changer. Only thing which ISRO could do is that they don't launch it frequently. That's it, because we have seen that from ISRO. But I am hoping that this one would be a game changer and disrupt the small sat market. So let's just have a look at this rocket. See this rocket. Just see the beauty of this rocket. I mean, just wow. ISRO's rocket, all the rockets of ISRO's are just so beautiful, and this is no exception. You can see these lines and all those things. So let's just start from the bottom itself. I will the things also, but in the bottom you can see this is one rocket, which is the SRB. So this basically this rocket is a 4-stage rocket, out of which 3 stages are solids and 1 stage is a liquid fuel. Okay, so the first stage is the solid rocket booster. So this is the new motor which they have designed, and this is the 3rd largest solid rocket booster that ISRO has right now. First is used in the PSLV, second is used in GSLV, third largest will be used in this one, the SSLV. And this has, you can see those not the grid fins, but the aft fins are here, which is solely here for the stability purpose, the aerodynamic. We have seen those of you have played KSP, you know the importance of these fins when you don't have much control of the rocket. So talking about the control of the rocket, the first stage has this flex nozzle, so it can gimbal. So kind of, you can say, the technical term is not gimbal for the SRB. Gimbling is used for the liquid fuel engine, but this one has a flex nozzle, so it can steer. The first stage it can steer. The second stage, now talking about the second stage has this, if I can just properly make you see this a mesh structure, a mesh interstage kind of a thing, and this is a second stage like this here. And this second stage is basically also a SRB. So talking about the first stage produces a thrust of around 2500 kilonewtons of thrust, as it has 85 tons of propellant. The second stage has 7 tons of propellant and produces around 234 kilonewtons of thrust. The third stage, which is inside this blue structure, this is also a newly developed stage by ISRO. So this is also a newly developed rocket, and it has a thrust of 160 kilonewton. Again, a solid rocket booster. And then we have inside the fairing a velocity trimming module, which has 16 into 50 Newton bipropellant thruster. And those bipropellant is nothing but monomethyl hydroxide and monoxides of nitrogen, which is used in the PSLV 4th stage. So it's kind of, you can say, the PSLV 4th stage is this the VTM, the velocity trimming module of this SSLV, is inspired from the PSLV 4th stage, but it does not have those engines, the twin engines which the PSLV had, but it has like 50 Newton, 16 into 50. So there are 16 thrusters, each producing 50 Newtons of thrust. So this is how the overall rocket looks like. And yeah, these are the so this is picture during the day, and the things which I just told you. I hope you all can hear me, right? Everything is good. So yeah, hi Shashank, I am really good. Hey DJ Intel Manila, that's good. Thanks you so much for joining in. I hope you all can understand from whatever I am saying and can hear me properly. That is the main thing. So this is nothing but a labeled version of the SSLV rocket. This, you can say, a vented interstage is here. And if you ask me why is there a vented, like the mesh structure was there, because the second stage, when the second stage will ignite, there will be a hot staging. So hot staging is what is a hot staging? Hot staging means when the staging happens. How should I explain? Okay, so the engine ignites before the staging happens. So what will happen is around like 500 milliseconds or so, the second stage engine will ignite, and after 500 seconds, this stage will separate. So this is hot stage. You ignite the engine before staging. And how is this helpful? Well, this is a SRB total. This whole rocket is a SRB rocket, and SRB, the solid rocket motors, are very much famous for their trail of thrust. What is a trail of thrust? Trail of thrust means that the rocket, when the solid rocket booster is has completed its operation, then also there are certain grains of solids left which are still burning, and then those can produce a little bit of thrust, right? And because of that, that stage which has just been staged can hit the stage, the second stage or the third stage which is above it. So to avoid that, they use the hot staging, or what they'll do, most probably what they'll do, first of all, they'll let this trail of thrust go away. How will they do that? Well, they'll just not stage. After the burn will happen, they'll wait for some time. After that, the staging will happen. That's how I am. We don't have this is the first time the mission is happening, so I'm also not so sure, but the logic says this only, that they will the stage all the stages, the SRBs in all the stages, the first, second and the third stage will remain attached to the rocket after the completion of its burn for some certain period of time, to nullify that trail of thrust which I just told you, the residual thrust as they say. And then the staging will happen, so that the collision will not happen. So yeah, so this is the second stage will have hot staging, because to nullify that, for clean separation, as well as since it is happening in the atmosphere, so hot staging is necessary. The third stage does not have a hot staging, because it's in the separation can simply happen with those pyros, those springs or pyros, whatever they use. Because at the time when the third stage will ignite, they will achieve the kind of, you can say, a microgravity condition, and that at that point of time, a simple push from the pyros or the springs would just be enough to cleanly separate. So but in atmosphere, when the first stage has done its operation, they will still be in atmosphere, and in gravitational environment, and that would cause a problem. So that's why a hot staging is done for the second stage. Okay, now moving on. So as I said, this is a modularized structure. This SSLV is a modularized rocket. So you can say it can carry. I just didn't talk about the carrying capacity. So yes, this rocket is in comparison comes in competition to the Rocket Lab's Electron. It can carry 500 kilograms of payload to 500 kilometers of planar orbit. And talking about the sun synchronous orbit, it can carry around 300 kilograms to 500 kilometers sun synchronous orbit. So the payload capacity is slightly more than the Rocket Labs. And talking about why did I just say this is a game changer? Because the cost per launch of this rocket is just 4 million USD. That's it. In comparison to what Rocket Lab does, Rocket Lab has like 7 million USD. Astra is doing some amazing work with their rocket 3.0. They have just discarded at rocket 3.0. They'll just move on to the next version. But the next version is supposed to be very much cheaper, around $2 million per launch. And but we don't know about that right now. So this is the kind of, you can say, the cheapest one, if you don't consider the Chinese launcher, because Chinese launchers are not available for the international market. So you can ignore those for now. But yes, this will be the cheapest one then. Only 4 million USD per launch, and can carry 500 kilograms. So it has this these payload adapters have the modularity also. You can see 8 CubeSats can be placed in there, and one number of 300 kilogram satellite. Here you can see that 8 number of quad packs at bottom deck, and 6 number of squad packs at top deck. And then we have this 2 quad packs and 150 kg of satellite. So you can see this is these are all the configurations in which it can fly and carry multiple payloads, not only just CubeSats but also the primary payloads. And today also there is one CubeSat and one primary payload, which we will see. And hopefully this is the exploded view of the rocket, which you have just seen. So is not necessary. So you can see the lowest per kg, the launch on demand, lowest per kg launch cost, reduced turnaround time, increased production rate from industry, multiple satellite mounting options for nano, micro and small satellites, capability to launch 6 to 8 missions per year, which would definitely increase once they are established, once this is frequently flying. Okay, Now moving on to the number of the payloads, right? So this is the EOS-02 mission, SSLV-D1 EOS-02, and why is it called EOS-02? Because it is carrying an Earth observation satellite. Earth observation EOS stands for Earth Observation Satellite only, and it is nothing but a microsat 2A, which weighs around 135 kilograms, and it is designed by ISRO. And this microsat series is a, you can say, uh, um, it has advanced optical remote sensing operation in infrared band with high spatial resolution. The bus configuration is derived from IMS-1. So this is a remote sensing satellite, the Earth observation satellite, and it has the you can say these microsats which ISRO launches are mostly the technological demonstration one. And since this is a development flight only, the D1 stands for development flight 1, on which they will verify all the parameters of the rocket and all. So they don't want to send a primary payload which they really require. So this is a demonstrator one, and that's why they are sending. So this is one of them. The next CubeSat which is being launched is this AzaadiSAT, and as you all know, our Indian brothers, and this is AzaadiSAT, and on 15th of August we have Independence Day. So this AzaadiSAT is made by Space Kids organization, and what they did was, it weighs around 8 kg, and what they did was, they did an amazing job. They went to around 75 different schools and selected around 10 girls from each government school. There are 75 government schools, selected 10 girls from all those schools, and then all of them collectively developed this satellite. So what they did was, this thing is very naive in US America, because the NASA has its own program for outreach to students and all, but ISRO does not have one. So a private organization which is pushing for this the PR, or you can say the knowledge of space to a government schools, is just amazing, and I really like their work. You can just check their website, Space Kids India. Rifat is I know Rifat personally also, and he's a very cool guy. He's the founder of the Space Kids India, and yes, he's doing a great job, I must say that. And we don't know, there might be some surprises in this satellite also, which we'll see once it is in space. Okay, now moving on to the next thing, which is this is the fourth stage, guys. This is the fourth stage, the VTM, the velocity trimming module of the SSLV, and this is the satellite stack, basically the EOS-02 and the AzaadiSAT is here, and this is the fourth stage, which has 8 thrusters which are in axial direction, which means they provide forward push, and then we have 4 thrusters for radial one, and basically the bifurcation is this. They have total 16 thrusters. 8 thrusters solely designed for the axial velocity, which is the forward push, and 8 of the remaining 8 are designed for the RCS block. So those RCS block has 4 radial thrusters and 4 axial one. So that is how this looks like, and that's how it works. And yes, I'm really excited to see this in action. We'll see what do we have in store for us today. Now moving on to the brochure, so which is carrying most of the information. So you will see here, you can see this is the vehicle height is around 34 meters, and you can say it's if you have seen my vlog, I actually made, if you have guys new here, let me just tell you that I made a vlog wherein I visited ISRO's biggest exhibition, and therein we had various models. The video is out on the channel, you can just watch it, and maybe you can see some of my face also there. But yeah, so in that I basically saw the SSLV in comparison to the PSLV and GSLV Mark III, and it is almost at the size of the GSLV Mark III. The GSLV Mark III stands at 43 meters tall, and this SSLV stands at 34 meter tall. This is not a small rocket. This is a very, very huge rocket, not a small rocket. And you can see the liftoff mass is around 120 tons. And yes, this is the VTM model which you can see. Now talking about the systems, why is it this SSLV is like, you know, the god of small sat launches? They have done significant changes in their the logistics, the assembly, the rocket itself, so that it can be assembled faster, it can be made with modularized parts, and you can read all those things. If you can take a screenshot and read all those things. I won't go deep into all those things, but you can just read these and get an idea of what they have improved, so that these rockets can be made quickly and can be launched quickly. So, and yeah, this is the mission profile. So this mission profile looks like this, wherein you have the launch, the SS1 ignition, you can see, which happens at 0 seconds. So this is SRB, so it will burn totally. And the SS2 ignition, see, this is what I was talking about. The stage 2 ignition happens first before and the separation happens afterwards. So there is like 400 milliseconds of difference in this operation, although it's a very slight you know, time difference, but still it's significant enough to do its job. And then we have this S2C separation, which is nothing but the stage 2 mesh, the interstage separation kind of, you can say. Then we have the payload fairing separation, which will happen here. Payload fairing will separate here. Then after that, the stage 2 will separate. The graphic is wrong here. Now, the graphic is right. The stage 2 separation will happen here, which will you know, expose the stage 3. The stage 3 then ignite. After that, after its operation, the separation of the stage 3 will happen. The VTM will ignite, although we don't know for how long the VTM will ignite, because this is a velocity trimming module, and the timing of this velocity trimming module for how long it will ignite will depend on the parameters of the orbit, right? This is basically the last stage is nothing but a precise injection in the orbit. That's it, because SRBs are not good at precise injection because of their residual thrust and all those things. There is a loss of grains and all those things are there, so they are not very much precise in their injection in the orbit. But then that's why this fourth liquid stage is there to manage the precise injection. And then finally the EOS-02 will separate, and then the AzaadiSAT will separate. So as I said, the EOS-02 is an experimental, as I said, the technology demonstration, optical remote sensing satellite, high spatial resolution imaging satellite with a short turnaround time. And it will be, you can see all those things, the forestry, hydrology, agriculture, soil, coastal studies, etc. This will be done by this satellite. And then we have again some of the, you know, configuration, the technical specs of this EOS-02. Then we have the AzaadiSAT. AzaadiSAT, as I just showed you, it was this is just you can say developed by the students of government schools of India. And you can see what it will be. The payloads include the transponder, which will, they have actually, you know, if you are into radio logy, this radio thingy, I don't know, can't recall that name of this radio astronomy. Yeah, so this, if you are into that, then they have made this thing public. They have released those megahertz of what frequency this satellite will be talking on to. So you can just talk with the satellite if you want. That is just publicly available. So yeah, if you are interested in that, you can surely do that. Now moving on to the next thing. So whatever I just showed you, the ISRO also has a good video about it, which we can see. So let's just have a look at it. Okay. A big bang in a small packet. This is the name they have given.
In recent times, there is a growing need among developing countries, private corporations and universities for small satellites, which is stimulated by the demand from commercial Earth observation and communication constellations. The satellite operators are looking for cost-effective and flexible launch solution that cannot be offered by larger vehicles. Currently, in ISRO, small satellites are launched using PSLV either as co-passenger or as a dedicated vehicle. PSLV has much higher payload capability and is suitable for a specific class of heavy satellites. For small satellites, a small launch vehicle can offer a better solution. Hence, it was thought to have tailor-made, dedicated small satellite launcher to meet the demands of the customers, and that of the country, which would also naturally offer an optimal capacity utilization. The Small Satellite Launch Vehicle SSLV is the latest launch vehicle designed and developed by ISRO to deliver single or multiple nano, micro or mini satellites up to weight of 500 kilograms into 500 kilometer planar orbit. SSLV is a three-stage vehicle with all solid propulsion stages and liquid propulsion-based velocity trimming module as terminal stage. SSLV is 2 meter in diameter and 34 meter in length with liftoff weight of 120 tons. SSLV, being the younger sibling of the legendary PSLV, GSLV and LVM-3, has inherited best of the qualities of these three. However, it also offers certain new technology elements considering functional requirements of its
This is the
job.
stage, the mesh of the interstage, the static fire.
SS1 and SS3 are now added to ISRO's fleet of solid motors. SS1 motor is the third largest solid booster of ISRO, while SS3 motor is a new composite upper stage solid motor. SSLV vehicle is designed as a ready-to-transfer vehicle with standard interfaces for end-to-end industrial production. The first maiden flight of SSLV-D1 aims to demonstrate the design payload capability of the vehicle in low Earth orbit as well as multi-orbit launching capability through restart of terminal liquid stage. SSLV-D1 is scheduled to launch EOS-02 satellite and co-passenger satellite AzaadiSAT in 356 km circular lower Earth orbit. EOS-02 is a 135 kg technology demonstration satellite for various technologies with applications in areas of agriculture, forestry, geology and hydrology. AzaadiSAT, a tribute to India's celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, is a 7.3 kg nano satellite, an initiative from the startup Space Kids India. SSLV-D1 will be launched from the first launch pad in SDSC Shar in Sriharikota. SSLV will be a cost-effective launch vehicle providing the satellite operators the flexibility to launch multiple satellites in terms of orbit and schedule in a single launch. They can also get the flexibility of launching the satellites on demand anytime and anywhere, as the vehicle requires minimal launch infrastructure and can be realized in shortest time. Small Satellite Launch Vehicle SSLV is deemed as the next workhorse rocket from ISRO, and it is suggested to play a major role in the commercial small satellite launch services.
There you go, guys. This is supposed to be the workhorse of the ISRO from now on, because this, as I said in this video also, they said this is supposed to be, this is made in such a way that everything is just minimum here, okay, such that the time required to assemble, to launch, people required, all those things which is there in the rocket production and finally lift off is minimal in this one, and that is the reason why this is so good. Just 7 days, 7 days of turnaround time. Okay, 6 people only required, and just $4 million of cost, and this is just amazing. The ISRO just has to, have to live to its standards for it to make a workhorse of its ISRO. Okay. Now, and also this is a SSLV. This is small sat launcher, and there are certain rumors, kind of, you can say, internal things which are going on, that maybe, just maybe, certain maybe a modified version of SSLV, or this SSLV itself may be launched from sea. So this is a thing, because this requires minimal infrastructure. Okay. So this, there are, now let's just some images. So this is the drone shot. Here you can see this is a beautiful view of the Sriharikota, the launch pad of ISRO. This is launching from the first launch pad. Here you can see the rocket is actually not rolled off from the pad. Here what happens is this structure itself goes away, the rocket stays on the pad. So this is how it looks like. Now moving on to the SSLV. So these are certain pics which you can see the first stage motor of the SSLV. You can see those fins also here in a particular good view, and you can see the scale of this rocket also with the humans in here. This is just the first stage, and not this is just the one section of the first stage, and there are like 3 sections. First stage itself. Okay. Moving on, this is the third stage. This is the new stage which is made by ISRO, developed composite upper stage which is developed by ISRO. So this is that, and this also has this flex nozzle design. And yes, this is the flame trench, flame duct, or flame trench, whatever you want to say, of the SSLV, newly developed flame trench for the SSLV itself, so that the plume can just go out of these holes. So there's that. And yes, finally the SSLV rocket. So yes, I hope you were able to understand everything. So I'll see what I can do about the spammers. I don't know where are the modders now, but I'll see. Okay, hi Ian Kristorov, how are you? I am fine. Did you hear Starship may launch in 4 weeks? Yes, I have heard that, and I'm looking forward to it. But let's see if that will be possible or not. Oh, okay, well. So we do have the... Wow, okay. I don't know why do they play this music. I just don't know. India is not about this music. In Hollywood also... Oops. Oh, sorry. In Hollywood also, whenever they have to, display Indian culture, they just play this music for some reason. And this is not Indian culture, and this is not, you can say, type of Indian music. But yeah, so this is the live view of the mission control room, and everything is looking good. And I'll move on to the much better feed once I have the coverage for that, so don't worry about it. But right now, just enjoy this. This is a mission control room, and everything is looking good. We can see the photos, the videos in the here on the screen. The SSLV rocket, although it's the exposure is kind of bad here because of that. Because of that, certain things could be not visible to you. But yes, I am hopeful you will be able to see the proper coverage once I switch over to another stream, which would be better. So yeah, okay, so someone needs to manage the chat. Not looking good right now. I'll just do it myself then. Okay, so talking about yep. So so you can see the Somnath sir, the chairman of ISRO. Then we have the range operator. you can say the range operation director, his sole purpose is to make sure the range is in range is always green and the vehicle is not going out of the flight, and he will be having the you know today he will be having the most tense job once the rocket lifts off, because he'll be looking at the all the range parameters, the flight parameters, if it is going off course or not, if it needs to be terminated. All those commands are given by this range operation director himself. And this is the first attempt. This is a new rocket, and always when a new rocket launch, it's kind of exciting, and sometimes it just not leads to good result, but it's always exciting to see the first launch of any new rocket. And I'm also excited to see this one also. But I am, for other companies and all those things, I have this probability of like 33% success of launch, 40% maybe. But for ISRO, especially with SRB, I am hopeful they'll be able to do this in their first try. I am hopeful for that. And let's just see, like, this is my gut feeling which is coming in. And let's see if they will be successful in their new rocket for on their first try itself. So that would be amazing. So yes, jinko let me just speak in Hindi for some time. So तो जो अभी अभी आए हैं उनको बता देते हैं. दिस इज़ द SSLV रॉकेट जो अभी लॉन्च होगा. एंड इसकी जो कैपेसिटी है, जो एक वजन ले जा सकता है, वो 500 किलोग्राम है. ये पूरा रॉकेट पूरा मतलब स्मॉल सैटेलाइट लॉन्च करता है जो हल्की होती हैं. आजकल जैसे पहले तो सैटेलाइट पूरे रूम को ले लेती थी, जैसे कंप्यूटर पहले रूम को लेता था, वो छोटा हो गया तो सैटेलाइट भी छोटी हो गई. अब वो शू के साइज़, जो शू बॉक्स का साइज़ होता है, उतनी हो गई है. तो इसलिए स्मॉल सैटेलाइट लॉन्चर्स बन रहे हैं जो जल्दी जल्दी लॉन्च कर सके और डेडिकेटेड लॉन्च कर सके. तो वही सेम चीज़ यहाँ हो रही है. एंड दिस इज़ द फर्स्ट लॉन्च. सो लेट्स सी व्हाट डू वी हैव इन स्टोर फॉर अस. पक्का कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा ही होगा, यही समझ रहे हैं. और देखते हैं क्या होता है. Okay, so guys, yes, right now you can see we have some guests also, although not so sure, I don't know them, but yeah, we do have some guests. And yes, the launch view gallery was open, so maybe some of you are there. I was also supposed to go, I was also supposed to go, but it's like 700 kilometers from my location. But and then I made the plans, everything was in place, but then I just got to know that there are like only the launch view gallery is open there, the museum and the science park is not open there, and the registrations have been closed at that point of time when I went there to register. So yeah, that happened, and because of that I wasn't able to go. Hopefully maybe next launches, some interesting ones, I'll try to go there and do a proper thing, like how the views from the launch view gallery look like and all those things. Okay, so do we have a coverage from a better? Still waiting. Okay. So Daniel asked, do you think that SSLV manufacturing method will be backported, applied to PSLV someday if it's proven much more reliable and faster to manufacture? Well, that's a very, very good question, Daniel. Let me just tell you what is the, philosophy of this rocket, like how this rocket is made, is, built from scratch up, keeping in mind the cost, the frequent launches and the turnaround time. So yes, the processes and everything is specifically made for this rocket. And yes, we do is this a drone view? Wow. ISRO has I this is not okay. I'm just setting myself up.
हम सभी ने इसरो के प्रमोचक रॉकेटों के बारे में सुना, देखा और जाना है.
Let me just
जैसे कि
wait a second, guys. Let me just switch over to another stream.
GSLV Mark II, GSLV Mark III. आज इसरो द्वारा एक नवीन
better.
लघु उपग्रह प्रक्षेपण यान SSLV का उद्घाटन प्रमोचन किया जा रहा है। इसके साथ इसरो के प्रमोचक रॉकेटों की श्रेणी में एक नया अध्याय शुरू होने जा रहा है। आज 7 अगस्त 2022 को SSLV-D1 का प्रथम प्रक्षेपण सतीश धवन अंतरिक्ष केंद्र के प्रथम प्रमोचन मंच से भारतीय मानक समय के अनुसार 9:18 पर किया जाएगा। स्मॉल सैटेलाइट लॉन्च व्हीकल SSLV की यह प्रथम विकासशील उड़ान है। इसमें मुख्य उपग्रह के रूप में EOS-02 नामक एक भूप्रेक्षण उपग्रह है तथा आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव को दर्शाता AzaadiSAT भी सहयात्री उपग्रह के रूप में सफर कर रहा है।
A very good morning to all the viewers as we gather here to witness the maiden launch of small satellite launch vehicle SSLV. I am Madhuri and you are joining us live for the Doordarshan national coverage from the Mission Control Center at Satish Dhawan Space Center of ISRO at Sriharikota. Apart from Doordarshan, the live telecast is
purchased
also
a drone.
available
I
on
can't
ISRO's
believe that.
website, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The launch is scheduled to take place today, the 7th of August 2022 at 9:18 hours Indian Standard Time from the first launch pad. The SSLV D1 mission.
We have
intends to
KC1,
put the
all
flying
the
satellite
ex-chairman of ISRO. So yep.
In 356.
There you go, the live view of the rocket, guys.
With an inclination
And that too an HD camera. I just can't believe my eyes. Full HD camera. Wow.
weighing 9.4 kg.
They have updated their video feed. I'm just hopeful. I hope.
For the time mark. Mark minus 30 minutes and counting.
RNMS to CDP. RNMS confirms range real-time retrofit readiness.
यान से जुड़े सारे परीक्षण पूरे किए जा चुके हैं।
Launch.
आज इस यान से जुड़े सभी वैज्ञानिक तथा अभियंताओं को इंतजार है कि उनके अथक परिश्रम का क्या परिणाम होगा।
They have updated their cameras. I am so
पूर्ण परीक्षित
happy.
तथा तैयार होकर
Seriously.
प्रथम प्रमोचन
Wow.
मंच पर स्थित है।
They purchased a drone.
Roger.
Somnath sir, it
सभी
rocks.
के मन में एक
Let me just
रोमांच
tell you
है।
that.
इस रोमांच से भरपूर हम सभी तैयार हैं इसरो के नवीन रॉकेट SSLV-D1 की उड़ान के लिए। प्रक्षेपण की उल्टी गिनती 7 घंटे पूर्व शुरू हो चुकी है। इस दौरान सभी परीक्षण पूरे किए जा
Looks pretty small. Well, Laszlo, let me just tell you that this rocket is the height of this rocket is around 34 meters. So it's not a small rocket at all.
कंप्यूटर
Electron in comparison is very small. Let me just tell you the height of the electron.
28 मिनट 54 सेकंड की दूरी पर।
T1 pulsar on.
Yeah, the Electron rocket is just 18 meters in height. This is 34 meters in height and just short like the GSLV. If you have seen my vlog, which I just did,
SSLV
comparing
small satellite launch vehicle
showcasing all the models, then you can see the SSLV is almost the height of GSLV Mark III. The Mark III is around 43 meters. This is 34 meters. So yeah, there you go. It's not a small rocket. It's named as a small satellite launch vehicle, but it is not a small one.
से भिन्न बनाती है। यह लघु उपग्रहों को निचली कक्षा में स्थापित करने की सबसे कम लागत तथा क्रांतिक तकनीक का प्रदर्शन करने जा रहा है।
P3 pulsar on.
इसे कम समय तथा कम लागत में तैयार किया जा सकता है। इससे इसमें वाणिज्यिक तथा प्रौद्योगिक अनुसंधान
Control,
के
Roger.
कार्य में निरंतर उपयोग में लाया जा सकेगा। इस यान के साथ
Roger.
स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी अन्य निजी संस्थानों के वहन करने योग्य स्तर पर भी आ जाएगी। ठोस नोदक प्रणाली में विकसित इस यान की अभिकल्पना में कई चुनौतियां आई। प्रभावी लागत तथा अल्प समय में तैयार की जाने वाली
He's just saying the characteristics of the rocket and how the development of the rocket took place, and you'll see the hear the English version also. And God, this camera is just so amazing, and I'm just hopeful that they have updated their onboard cameras also. The onboard cameras of ISROs are just awful.
लॉन्च ऑन डिमांड के ध्यान में रखकर बनाया गया है। SSLV की प्राथमिक विकासशील उड़ानों के पश्चात NSIL इसे भारतीय उद्योगों के द्वारा बनाए जाने पर भी विचार कर रहा है।
See the beauty of this rocket. ISRO just makes such a beautiful rocket. The PSLV, GSLV, and then this SSLV. They make sure this
Let's
is
take a look
okay.
at the SSLV integration activities at SDSC Shar. The launch campaign began with the flag off of the nozzle end segment of the first stage from second vehicle assembly building to the mobile service tower.
This is the newly developed
The
flame
movement
trench.
of middle and head end segments.
Then those two segments are also
The
there.
joints being open type or dry type, minimum time is taken in the assembly of all the segments on the single day.
You can see the scale of the rocket now. This, the humans and the rocket. This is just the first stage. The third section of the first stage is being assembled right now. This is not a small
अभी
rocket
आप
at all.
अपनी स्क्रीन पर देख पा रहे हैं सभी खंडों को जोड़कर SS1 प्रथम चरण तैयार किया गया और अब इग्नाइटर को इसके साथ एकीकृत किया जा रहा है।
This is not a new launch pad, Daniel. This is the pad which was used
यह
from
SS2 है जो कि द्वितीय चरण है SSLV-D1
which is
रॉकेट का।
used the first launch pad. There is one
इसे
dedicated
इंटरस्टेज
launch
के
pad
साथ
being
एकीकृत
developed
कर
also for the SSLV itself. So therefore, so that the launches can be frequent and can be independent. So the third stage, wow.
The second stage, along with the interstages, will be moved to the launch pad.
I have already told you this the function of this mesh. There will be hot staging for the second stage, and that's why you need that mesh so that the gases and
minus
the plume,
25 minutes.
plume can go away.
द्वितीय चरण को एकीकृत कर लॉन्च पैड लाया गया है। मोबाइल सर्विस टावर में क्रेन की मदद से इसे प्रथम चरण के साथ एकीकृत कर दिया जाएगा।
Noted. Roger.
इन सभी गतिविधियों के दौरान पूर्ण गुणवत्ता का ध्यान रखा जाता है।
Best quality standards are maintained. That's what he said.
और अब आप देख पा रहे हैं तृतीय चरण SSLV का यह तृतीय
The
चरण
third stage.
एकीकृत कर दिया गया।
Remember
That's
the
the third
EOS-02
stage. After the
satellite.
third stage, now you are able to watch the satellites being prepared. That is the EOS-02 satellite and the AzaadiSAT.
जी हाँ, अभी आप देख पा रहे हैं EOS-02 उपग्रह तथा AzaadiSAT को एकीकृत कर ऊष्मा कवच के अंदर सुरक्षित कर दिया गया है।
This is the ogive
That's the
fairing.
encapsulated assembly, including the velocity trimming module and the satellites being prepared. This will be moved to the launch pad and integrated with the launch vehicle.
Hot staging is actually necessary for this clean separation for the solid motor stage because there are residual thrust is there after the burn is completed, and that is messy.
संयुक्त उपग्रह तथा
Very
विकीय
messy,
मॉड्यूल
let me
को
tell you
लाकर
that.
MST में SS3 तृतीय चरण के ऊपर समायोजित कर दिया गया और इसके साथ ही SSLV पूर्णतः तैयार। अब MST मोबाइल सर्विस टावर को पीछे पार्किंग
Roger.
एरिया पर ले जाया जा रहा है।
The SSLV is fully ready for its maiden mission.
विहंगम दृश्य
Wow.
श्रीहरिकोटा का
Technical photography facility.
प्रथम प्रमोचन मंच।
Bird's eye view of the first launch pad. In times to
I'm
come, it will witness
so
enhanced launch frequency due to
excited.
the added infrastructure.
I'm very much excited. Everyone is excited for this new rocket to launch, and I am actually very hopeful for this rocket to be successful on its first launch, maiden launch. I know the capability they have, the
यहाँ
ISRO have
शार
on
में
their
बाहरी
solids.
दर्शकों के लिए एक विजिटर्स गैलरी की व्यवस्था उपलब्ध है। बहुत से लोग यहाँ आकर रॉकेट लॉन्च का आंखों देखा अनुभव लेते हैं। आज यहाँ 8,600 से ज़्यादा दर्शक यहाँ मौजूद हैं और आनंद ले रहे हैं। आप
It's
सभी
such a
दर्शकों का यहाँ
gold
फिर से
mine
स्वागत
for
है।
all the ISRO lovers because you don't get to see these high quality video feeds from ISRO, and they have done that. They have improved their
minus
cameras.
22 minutes.
That is really very cool. Just a second.
अब हम प्रमोशन से 21 मिनट 48 सेकंड की दूरी पर
RSD confirms data from chain 1. MCC confirms data from chain 1.
Okay, guys. So we are T minus 21 minutes from the launch. Things are
इस
looking good.
दौरान आपको प्रमोचक रॉकेट SSLV के बारे में कुछ जानकारियां दे दें।
Noted. TCTC Char 1 and 2 confirms
यह प्रक्षेपण
normalcy
यान
of both telemetry
SSLV
carriers.
3 चरणीय यान है और इसमें तीनों चरण ठोस नोदक पर आधारित हैं। प्रथम चरण को SS1 कहते हैं। SS1 का कुल भार 87 टन के ठोस
Minus
प्रणोद वाला
21
है।
minutes.
इसका व्यास 2 मीटर तथा लंबाई 21 मीटर की है। यह चरण 3 खंडों से बना हुआ है।
Request
इस
on
चरण में कुल निर्वात प्रणोद 2600 किलो न्यूटन उत्पन्न होता है।
minus 20 minutes. No confirmation is needed to control.
CY to ROD, all range instrumentation systems are ready for SSLV-D1 EOS-02 launch.
ROD Roger. CDP to ROD, mission computers and real-time network are ready for the launch of SSLV-D1.
Just see this rocket. This is such a cute and beautiful looking rocket.
ISRO to ROD, range safety systems are ready
Wow.
for the launch of SSLV-D1 EOS-02
मार्च 2022
We have
को
go for the
SS1
launch,
का
guys.
परीक्षण कर सतीश
The
धवन
go no
अंतरिक्ष
go poll
केंद्र
is
में
going on right now.
This is
इस
vehicle
परीक्षण
director to
को
mission director.
पूर्णतः सफल किया गया था
SSLV-D1 launch vehicle are normal.
और इसके बाद SSLV यान
20
को
minutes.
हरी झंडी दिखा दी गई
All
थी।
stations change over to channel 2.
Mission director Roger. The launch vehicle is ready for SSLV-D1 EOS-02 mission. Mission director Roger.
You are able to watch on your TV screens the internal views of the Launch Control Center and the Mission Control Center.
Okay,
अभी
T
आपने
minus
सुना,
19 minutes,
यान
and there you
निदेशक,
go.
स्पेसक्राफ्ट निदेशक, रेंज ऑपरेशन निदेशक ने अपने अपने
How is it looking? My
तंत्र की
replica.
सूचना मिशन निदेशक को दे दी है। मिशन निदेशक इन सभी तैयारियों से संतुष्ट होने पर यान के प्रमोशन के लिए अनुमोदन प्रदान करेंगे।
Is it good? My replica is good or not?
Minus 19 minutes.
Timing to control, timing confirms external hold mode.
Noted. LCC1, please note timing confirmed external hold mode.
LCC noted.
This is spacecraft director. EOS-02 spacecraft is ready for launch.
Hey. Yes, let's just hope that I haven't messed up the mission profile because
The
this is the
design
first
drivers of SSLV
launch
are
and
low cost.
nobody knows the exact mission profile, so we'll have to wait and see.
EOS-02 launch. Mission director Roger.
Yes, home time. The quality is just unbeatable. I don't know how they are doing it, but they are having just the excellent cameras at the right time today.
SSLV-D1 EOS-02 mission.
Mission director Roger.
Minus 18 minutes.
This is mission director. Mission Readiness Review and Launch Authorization Board have already given clearance for proceeding with the countdown and launch of SSLV-D1 EOS-02 mission. All operation in the countdown sequence till automatic launch sequence have been completed satisfactorily. Based on the clearance obtained from launch vehicle, spacecraft, range and ISRO network station and prevailing favorable weather condition, Mission Director hereby authorized to initiate the launch operation sequence of the launch of SSLV-D1 EOS-02 mission at 9:18 hours IST today, that is 7th August 2022.
There is a key
All
authorization.
stations to note. Mission director has given authorization for launch.
So
You have just
we have,
watched the mission director
there
Sri
you go,
SS Vinod
guys. The go for the launch, the final go for the launch has been given.
the launch and giving clearance for the initiation of automatic launch sequence.
The automatic launch sequence for the launch of SSLV-D1 EOS-02 mission.
We are about 16 minutes to the launch. From about 14 minutes, all the critical systems of SSLV will be verified by the onboard computers.
मिशन निदेशक ने यान के प्रमोशन को अनुमोदित कर दिया है और इसके बाद
We are T minus 16 minutes from the launch. Everything is looking good. The weather is holding up. The range is green. And we have just heard the go from the mission director, which means finally we will be seeing the most awaited flight of the SSLV today itself. And I am hopeful, although anything can happen in spaceflight, but still I am hopeful that this will be a complete success. Because let's see solids what ISRO have mastered.
The design drivers of SSLV are low cost, low turnaround time, flexibility in accommodating multiple satellites, launch on demand flexibility, and minimal launch infrastructure requirement. In comparison to other launch vehicle development, a small but agile team of SSLV project has realized the project in minimal time. The SSLV design emphasized integration and test simplicity. In the trade of launch, bigger is not always better and heavier is not always more powerful. Following PSLV, GSLV and GSLV Mark III with higher payloads, the SSLV is an effective solution for those payloads that were hitherto launched as secondary payloads on medium launch vehicles. In recent times, there is a growing need among developing countries, private corporations, and universities for small satellites, which is stimulated by the demand from the commercial Earth observation and communication constellations. Small satellites either have to ride share with bigger satellites or wait for a large enough
So Bogey
group
Holt roll.
of small satellites
Thanks
going to a
for
similar orbit.
asking that. So yeah,
Small satellites being placed in
let her
suboptimal orbits
complete.
or waiting for launch schedules to align with larger launches, resulting in long waiting times.
So let me just give you a proper overview of this mission. So this is a SSLV rocket. This is a 3+1 stage rocket. 3 stages are SRBs, the solid rocket booster, and then one is the velocity trimming module. So that velocity trimming module is basically is necessary when it comes to the SRB total, whole solid fueled rocket, because the solid fuels are not very much precise in the orbit injection because of their residual thrust and all that. So yeah, so that's why they have this 3+1 configuration. The last stage is a VTM, which is a velocity trimming module, which has the sole purpose of the injecting the satellites in its precise orbit. Okay, and now this rocket has a payload capacity of 500 kilograms, and to 500 kilograms to low Earth orbit at 45 degrees. To sun synchronous orbit, it has 300 kilograms of the payload capacity. Today, it is carrying 145 kilograms of primary payload, which is EOS-02, and then we have 8 kilograms of AzaadiSAT, which is a CubeSat being developed by the startup by the government school students. And today it is going to 365 kilometer, around 37 degree altitude, angle orbit. So that's the azimuth, you can say, kind of. So we have T minus 12 minutes 47 seconds from the launch, and yep, VT minus 12 minutes 30 seconds from the launch. Things are looking good. And what do you think, guys? First of all, let's just see from where you are watching this live stream from. So just type in the chat from where you are watching this beautiful maiden flight of this beautiful rocket.
यहाँ ऐसी सुविधाएं उपलब्ध हैं जिसमें कि कई सेगमेंट्स को एक साथ कास्ट कर बनाया जाता है।
Australia, India,
Minus 12
Jaipur,
minutes.
Mumbai, Wales,
सभी चरणों के
Texas,
उत्पादन के पश्चात
Tamil Nadu,
SSLV को
US
सिर्फ एक
of
सप्ताह में
A,
प्रमोशन के लिए
New
तैयार किया जा
Zealand,
सकता है।
Virginia. So we have people
आपकी
from all over
जानकारी
the
के लिए
world. Sarawak, Borneo.
SSLV D1 को 1 अगस्त
Okay,
को
Arizona,
इसका
Colorado,
एकीकरण शुरू किया गया
Sydney,
था
Mexico,
तथा आज 7 अगस्त को
Russia,
हम तैयार हैं इसके प्रमोशन के लिए।
UAE.
Speaking about the launch sequence
Kim
for
Jong Un
today's
is also
launch,
here. Welcome to the
the
stream.
ignition of the first stage, SS1, coincides with the T0. The first stage takes the launch vehicle to an altitude of about 90 kilometers. The second stage,
Wow.
or the SS2, ignites at 126.7 seconds, and there is a hot separation of SS1 0.4 seconds later. Then, at
Minus 11
132
minutes.
seconds, there is the separation of interstage S2C. By now, the launch vehicle is at 100 kilometers altitude, so the closed loop guidance is initiated and the payload fairing separation takes place.
Ireland.
The second
it's okay.
stage, that is the SS2, burns out after an action time of 119 seconds but continues to coast along with the ongoing vehicle for another 91.9 seconds and then separates. The third stage ignites at 143.5 seconds and operates for 112 seconds. The coasting phase continues for 176.5 seconds and then SS3 separates. The altitude for the satellite is almost achieved by now, and the liquid-powered velocity trimming module operates for about 20 seconds to provide the correct attitude and velocity for the
Minus
satellite
10
injection. Next comes the injection of EOS-02, the prime satellite for the mission, and then injection of AzaadiSAT, the co-passenger satellite in the same orbit.
T minus 10 minutes. Final 10 minutes remaining, guys. And I'm so happy, so excited. You know what? I haven't slept from all
हम
night.
उड़ान से
I've
9
been
मिनट
awake
27
all
सेकंड की दूरी
night.
पर
Working on this stream, working for this stream, the animations, the research, and all those things. I have not slept. I have not slept at all. So, but still, I am not feeling sleepy right now because I am very much excited. T minus 9 minutes, first rocket, first launch. It's always very exciting.
SSLV
Minus
D1 का
9 minutes.
फ्लाइट घटनाक्रम कुछ इस प्रकार होगा।
Hey, learning
प्रथम चरण
skills, congratulations, and I hope the AzaadiSAT mission is also accomplished, and you all can. Hey, Drifat is here. Obviously, he will be here. That guy who standed.
यान करीब
I know him personally.
कर चुका होगा।
He's a very cool guy.
इंटर स्टेज का पृथकीकरण होगा। द्वितीय चरण के दौरान ही यह यान क्लोज लूप गाइडेंस के अंतर्गत चला जाएगा, जिसमें वह आंतरिक जायरोमीटर तथा एक्सेलरोमीटर की मदद से अपनी स्थिति की जानकारी ले दिशा निर्धारण करेगा।
Yep, steel toed. That's an animation. You will see. Just wait for the rocket to lift off.
बाद करीब 107 सेकंड पर यान जब 140 किलोमीटर पर होगा, इसमें पेलोड पेयरिंग ऊष्मा कवच को पृथक कर दिया जाएगा।
Minus 8 minutes.
Satellite space में क्या करेगा? So there are two satellites, EOS-02, which is the Earth observation satellite. तो वो Earth remote sensing satellite है जो Earth को observe करेगा। उसमें forestry, agriculture में use होगा, oceans को observe करने में use होगा, तो Earth observation में use होगा। और एक AzaadiSAT है जो कि is launched from the Space Kids India startup. Guys, if you haven't hit the like button, do hit that like button. If you are just liking my commentary and you are
For a mere 7 days.
excited as me, if you are excited as me, to hit that like button, it would really help me.
And has lasted it for 7
And
hours.
if you want to support
During
me,
this
you can
time,
do
the
that by
batteries
becoming
are
a member.
charged and the checks to
Link is
the
down in the
SSLV
description or a Patreon, and super chats are
satellite
always
and
enabled
launch
for
vehicle
one-time
are
funding.
carried out.
I in this channel I do these live streams of the various launches, the videos also the latest. You can just go and watch the latest video, which is Human Spaceflight Expo, ISRO's biggest exhibition. I visited that exhibition and I have made a proper vlog of everything. So you can just go and visit that, the latest video on my channel. After this is over, obviously.
यान की पूरी जानकारी हमें वास्तविक समय में उपलब्ध हो रहती है.
We are 3.5 minutes away from the launch. The
MTN
SSLV
acquisition
is a
completed.
3-stage
All
launch
acquisitions are
vehicle
over.
with all solid propulsion stages.
So
The
much
first stage is powered by
JDJ.
87 tons of
I'm flattered.
HTP-based
Thank you
solid
so much.
propellant. It happens to be the third largest booster for ISRO after the S-200 powering the mighty GSLV Mark III as twin strap-ons and the S-139 powering the PSLV and GSLV as core booster. It is the
Minus 6 minutes.
SS1 is a 3-segmented motor having dry joints among the segments. This is a feature to reduce operations time at the
power
launch
withdrawn.
pad. The second stage is Heritage HPS-3 motor powering the PSLV as third stage with certain adaptations. This is also a solid propellant stage. SS2 has a diameter of 2 meters and length of 3.2 meters. It has 7.7 tons of propellant loading inside a carbon fiber filament wound case. It is capable of generating maximum vacuum thrust of 235 kilonewtons. The third stage is a newly developed upper stage solid motor with 4.5 tons of HTPB based propellant loading capable of developing 160 kilonewtons maximum vacuum thrust. SS3
Minus
also is
5
a carbon filament wound case having 1.7 meters diameter and 2.8 meters length. To ensure precise satellite injection into the intended orbit, a liquid bipropellant-based velocity trimming module is used. It has monomethyl hydrazine and mixed oxides of nitrogen as fuel and oxidizer respectively. The propellant of VTM also aids in the roll control during the SS2 and SS3 flight regime and control of pitch, yaw and roll during the coasting phase. SSLV has an encapsulated assembly comprising of VTM, satellites on a variety of payload adapters ensconced in the heat shield halves. The heat shield is of ogive shape made of composite with co-cured cork thermal protection system.
Minus 4
Overall,
minutes.
the SSLV is 34 meters tall, 2 meters in diameter, and has a liftoff mass of about 120 tons.
Okay, guys, it's happening. T minus 3 minutes
तो
45
हम
seconds
प्रमोशन
from the
से 3
launch.
मिनट 42 सेकंड की दूरी पर हैं.
Pyro and wall battery on.
Dude, I can't believe my eyes. SSLV was on hold for such a long period of time. In 2020, it was supposed to launch, and it got delayed and delayed due to some technical failures, COVID, and whatnot. And finally, it is happening. I can see the rocket on the pad. This is happening. The new disruptor of the small sat launch market is coming in, guys. But let's not be over enthusiastic right now. Let's just hope this is successful first of all, and then we'll see. But right now, T minus 3 minutes from the launch.
37.21 डिग्री के झुकाव के साथ अंतक्षेपित किया जाएगा.
Wow, okay. This is happening.
EOS-2 के साथ एक और सहयात्री उपग्रह जिसे भारत के आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव के रूप में आज़ादी सेट नामक उपग्रह का भी प्रमोशन किया जा रहा है.
Hey Anand, thank you so much for that 199, dude. Would really help me. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. T minus 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
SSLV में उपग्रहों को प्रक्षेपण के पश्चात ऑर्बिट रेसिंग के प्रयोगों का भी प्रदर्शन किया जाएगा.
Okay. A final overview,
यान
guys. This
को
is a 3-stage
दोनों
rocket.
उपग्रहों को
All the 3
अंतरिक्षेपण
stages
में
are
करीब
SRB, and
790
then
सेकंड का
plus
समय
one
लगेगा।
stage, which is a VTM of liquid fueled stage, a velocity trimming module, and it has a payload capacity of
अब हम
500
प्रमोशन
kilograms
से
to
2
low Earth
मिनट की दूरी
orbit
पर
and 300 kilograms to sun synchronous polar orbit.
The tracking of
And
the launch vehicle during the flight
yes,
is done
Minus
by
2
the
minutes.
ISRO
it's happening.
telemetry
T-minus 2
tracking and
minutes from
command
the
network
launch.
called the ISTRAC. The
It is carrying
SSLV-D1
EOS-02, the Earth
EOS-02
observation satellite, which is supposed to help in agriculture, forestry, hydrology, and whatnot, and one AzaadiSAT from
Trivandrum,
Space
Port
Kids
Blair,
India.
Singapore, and Yattaragga. These tracking stations have overlapping visibility to track the flight trajectory and staging events.
Okay,
We are 1
guys,
minute 30 seconds from the launch.
I can't believe my eyes right now. SSLV is on the pad and is about to get liftoff. Wow. It was just a dream for such a long period of time for me.
आज का मौसम यहाँ बदली वाला है। यहाँ जो दर्शकगण आए हुए हैं लॉन्च को देखने के लिए, उन्हें थोड़ी दिक्कत हो सकती है। लेकिन प्रमोशन के लिए पूरी
T-minus
तरह
60
अनुकूल है।
seconds from the
Minus
launch.
1 minute.
Distract Saab Sam.
Okay, guys,
अब हम 1
Minus
मिनट की
45 seconds.
दूरी पर
it is happening. It is
Promotion से?
happening. T-minus 50
Minus
seconds.
50 seconds.
All sequences armed.
New SSLV rocket from ISRO.
Minus 45
The
seconds.
first launch. Let's just see if it is
Minus
successful
40
in their
seconds.
first launch. Okay,
Minus 35 seconds.
everything is go for the launch. T-minus 30 seconds from the
Minus
launch.
30 seconds.
Real-time programs activated.
Minus 25 seconds. Minus 20 seconds. Minus 15 seconds.
13, 12, 11, 10,
10,
9.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ignition. Whoa. Lift off.
Plus 5 seconds.
Stop normal. P1 tracking.
This is so cool.
P2 tracking.
That was a brilliant liftoff, a sight to behold.
Wow.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन SSLV D1 लॉन्च व्हीकल का।
Just hope this just
SSLV
its
D1
Go
EOS-02
SSLV,
मिशन
go,
अपने
you
गंतव्य
can do
की
it.
ओर।
Wow.
सभी तंत्र सुचारू रूप से काम करते हुए बहुत ही रोमांच
You
का
can
पल
see
है ये।
those. Wow, that plume is looking good.
प्रथम प्रमोशन SSLV
Although,
D1 का।
yep, that is the problem.
Maiden launch of SSLV.
The clouds were the problem
The
today.
performance of first stage is as per the prediction.
You can see the
First stage performance normal.
yes, that's what we wanna hear.
SHAR-1 as in main auto.
Plus 1 minute.
प्रथम चरण सामान्य निष्पादन करता हुआ।
SHAR-2 as in main auto.
Yes, you can see the trajectories as per the
वैज्ञानिकगण
plan.
निरंतर नजर बनाए हुए हैं सभी
Everything
आंकड़ों
is
पर।
looking good. Yes, this
Flight parameters
light
and ground trace
parameters are
on your
looking
screens
good.
right
That's
now.
what we want to see. The first stage is
Shar,
performing
Bangalore,
a-
and Trivandrum telemetry
per the
stations
plan.
tracking.
प्रथम चरण का प्रज्वलन काल करीब 117 सेकंड का होगा।
Just see that go. Wow, it was such a beautiful liftoff. Although they have this.
This 22.5 meter long stage is powered by HTPB based solid propellant, 87 tons mass. It generates a thrust of 2600 kilonewtons.
Dude,
During the SS1 action
this
time
was
of
such a good-
117 seconds, the altitude of the launch vehicle crosses about 85 kilometers.
So now it should have been shut off. 117 seconds have passed.
प्रथम चरण के सभी तंत्र सामान्य कार्य
Okay.
करते हुए।
Second stage ignited. First stage separated.
There you go. This
अभी
also
अभी
happened.
आपने सुना रेंज निदेशक ने घोषणा की द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन हो चुका है तथा प्रथम
Guys,
चरण
this
को
is the
पृथक
maiden
कर दिया
launch.
गया है।
And if they can be successful in the first try itself, this would be a record.
Announcement of the Range Operations Director. The second stage has started its operation, generating maximum vacuum thrust of 235 kilonewtons.
द्वितीय चरण का
And
प्रज्वलन
now
काल
the
करीब
fairing
200
separation
Payload
is
fairing
there. You go.
separated.
221 सेकंड का.
Wow, it's looking so cool.
ऊष्मा
Everything
कवच
is
को
working
पृथक
as
कर
per
दिया
the
गया
plan.
है.
Although we would like to see those
Trivandrum
trajectory
and Port Blair
and
stations
see if
presently
everything is working
tracking.
as per the plan or not.
Plus 3 minutes.
अब हम 170 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई पर आ चुके हैं.
There's a quick succession of several flight events. The SS1 separation, following the SS2 ignition,
Second stage performance normal.
and then the closed
That's what we wanna hear.
interstate separation, initiation of closed loop guidance for the flight, and of course,
There you go, guys. You can see
dense
the trajectory.
atmosphere and 100
It's,
kilometers altitude has been crossed.
The
The
red,
payload fairing
the
also has
green
been
is on the
separated.
red, which is what we want to see whenever we are seeing these type of launches, which means everything is working as per the plan. Things are looking great right now.
3.35 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड तथा ऊंचाई 228 किलोमीटर.
This is the second stage, which is the, you can say, the modified
Plus 4 minutes.
PSLV third stage on this one.
इस घटनाक्रम में SS2 का प्रज्वलन काल खत्म होने के बाद
There you
90
go.
सेकंड का कोस्ट फेज होगा.
Has now this is
Second
the
stage
residual thrust.
action completed.
This is the residual thrust which you just saw. Now it is coasting. There you go, as per the plan.
Current altitude is
Vehicle is in
260
combined
kilometers.
coasting.
Yep, a kind small underperformance. Daniel, you are right about that, but still
4
it's
hours,
going strong.
4
Right now, you know,
minutes,
guys,
30 seconds past
the
launch
closed
time.
loop guidance is needs to be initiated for those corrections to be there. Right now, you can see the closed loop guidance has not been initiated, which means it is not taking the feedback from the actual trajectory
SS2,
as well as
SS3
from the
combined coasting
intended
phase कहा जाता
trajectories.
है.
That's why there is there might be certain underperformance or overperformance. So that can be corrected once that closed loop guidance is
इस
initiated.
घटनाक्रम में अगली घटना होगी SS2
5
का
minutes.
पृथक्करण
Closed loop guidance is nothing but it's just
तथा SS3 का प्रज्वलन.
it just gives the feedback to the rocket that where it is going.
Vehicle performance normal.
Everything is looking good. Vehicle performance is nominal. It's in the
यान
coast
पूरी
phase
तरह
right
सामान्य
now.
प्रदर्शन करता हुआ और अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ता हुआ.
Wow, just look at that.
Next flight event is the separation of the second stage, which has completed its
There you go.
operation.
Second stage separated.
Now we have got the confirmation that the second stage has been separated.
Third stage ignited.
Third stage has ignited.
द्वितीय
There you go,
चरण
guys.
अपना
Wow.
प्रज्वलन काल तथा कोस्ट फेज पूर्ण करने के पश्चात पृथक कर दिया गया है तथा तृतीय चरण SS3 प्रज्वलित हो चुका है.
Now let's just see.
Right now, the SSLV is in its third stage regime. The carbon fiber filament wound case with 4.5 tons of HTPB based solid propellant loading, SS3 will propel the rocket from 333.6 kilometers to 356.5 kilometers. A significant delta V addition takes place. It is about 3.7 kilometers per second. That's the amount of velocity increase.
Wow. It's still on the dot, on the graph only.
SS3
I'm
का
so
प्रज्वलन
amazed.
काल
Like,
112
this is the
सेकंड का
first
होगा.
launch,
इस
man.
दौरान
This is the
यह
first launch.
निर्वात
And every
करोड़
first launch is
160
supposed to,
किलोमीटर का
you know,
तना
not.
करेगा.
Uh,
Third stage performance
I'm
normal.
not saying anything right now. Third stage is performing nominally.
इस चरण के दौरान ही
That's what we
कक्षीय
wanna
स्थितियां
hear.
प्राप्त की जा सकेंगी.
You can see the velocity is 5.3
7
kilometer per
minutes.
second.
Singapore and Port
Yes,
Blair stations still
SGS,
tracking.
ASP, that's the
The action time
which
for
I have
third
made.
stage is 112 seconds, after which there will be a combined coast phase.
Oh, dude, this is happening. Come on, SSLV, you can do it. You can do it. You can
Third stage
act
action
and complete
completed.
it. And yes, it is as per the plan. A slight off,
तृतीय
but
चरण
it's
अपना
good.
प्रज्वलन कार्य पूर्ण करता हुआ
Vehicle is in hosting.
And this is the residual thrust, which you just see that trail of thing.
Presently, it's the
Again,
regime of coasting. The third stage has completed its operation, but yet to separate from the ongoing
8
launch
minutes.
vehicle. Control for pitch, yaw, and roll being provided by the velocity trimming module thrusters.
okay.
In about 3 minutes of coasting, there is a triple velocity addition and triple altitude gain.
And see that all the
VTM will
flight
then
events.
operate and compensate for the velocity necessary for the injection of satellites and also the correct altitude.
भारत इस साल को आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव की तरह मना रहा है
The graph is
भारत
going
के
down. No, it's
स्वतंत्रता
all
के
right.
75वें वर्षगांठ
Right
में
now, that's what I
पूरे भारत में
saw.
तरह तरह
Let me
से
just
इसे
let's
मनाया
just
जा
say
रहा है
they need to. Okay.
इसमें
See,
सभी
there is
और
two type
विकास
of there are
और
two
उन्नति की
types
दिशा
of
को
lines.
दिखाया जा रहा है
Green color
यह
line
पर्व
and
इसरो
red
में भी
color.
मनाया जा
Green
रहा
color
है
line, yellow
इसी
color line,
उद्देश्य
and
के साथ
red. So there are
मिशन
three ones.
न
So
सिर्फ एक
green
नवीन
one is
प्रमोशन यान का
the
प्रदर्शक है बल्कि मिशन के उपग्रह
telemetry,
आज़ादीसैट को
the graph which is
आज़ादी के
coming
अमृत
out
महोत्सव
of the
को
rocket.
समर्पित है
That's how it is tracking
We are
that.
9 minutes
And
past
then
the launch
yellow
time.
one. Okay, the yellow one is the radar which is tracking. So if the radar is off by sometimes that is the problem of the means the yellow line is off.
Testing in progress right
Sometimes
now.
that is the problem of the radar and not the rocket. So there you go.
मिशन एक और कारण से महत्वपूर्ण है इस यान में सफर कर रहे आज़ादी सेट को हमारे देश के ही 750 स्कूली छात्राओं ने मिलकर बनाया है इस तरह यह मिशन महिलाओं को प्रोत्साहित करते हुए वुमेन इन स्पेस के थीम को भी सहायक बन रहा है
Yep, it's slightly low. I agree to that, but that just simply means that the since this is a all solid rocket booster, right? So these slight underperformance or overperformance is expected, and that's why they have this velocity trimming module to correct all those imperfections which might have happened during the flight. So let's just see.
You are watching us live from the Mission Control Center here at Satish Dhawan Space Center.
Yes, Tirtha,
Sriharikota.
track is needed.
This is a
But they are
maiden
not
launch
showing
of
that.
SSLV-D1 EOS-03 mission.
In the coast phase, now it should separate. Third stage, fourth stage. Is was the call. There you go. Separation has happened. Okay.
अभी आप ऑनबोर्ड कैमरे
There you go,
दिखा
guys.
रहे हैं EOS-2 का पृथकीकरण तथा अंतःक्षेपण उसके उद्दिष्ट कक्षा में
EOS-2 separation? Eh? I think that there is some problem. The velocity trimming module needs to work for some time first of all, and then the separation needs to happen. But you know that the separation which you just saw was of the third stage. There you can VTM cutoff has already happened. Okay, that is something cool. Okay, something is there. You can see 653. Okay.
कार्य पूर्ण हो चुका है
Only 1 millisecond of action. That is not what we expected. Just 1 millisecond of action. It should have separated by now. The satellites must have separated by now. There is some problem. That was not the EOS-2 separation. That was the third this separation of the stage, the velocity trimming module.
अभी
Although that's just a velocity trimming module, so
EOS-2 को सफलतापूर्वक
okay.
अंतर्गत कर दिया गया है
Now it has been separated. EOS-2 has been separated, guys. which you will see in the animation too, the delayed one. But there was something, but since the satellite has separated, which means the mission was successful, but we'll have to wait and see those parameters. Okay, that is the name, the graph, the parameters and the graph, whether the orbit was achieved. That's why it has been separated. So yeah, the EOS-02 has been separated. There you go. Now waiting for the AzaadiSAT to separate.
Following the combined coast phase, the VTM ignition cutoff and EOS-02 separation,
There you go.
AzaadiSAT separation, these flight events have taken place.
The first ever successful flight.
EOS-2 तथा आज़ादीसैट को उनके उद्देश्य कक्षा में स्थापित कर दिया गया है.
Something is a bit off. You know, they are not celebrating. Mission control room is not celebrating as such. The launch control center, that is something okay, but I think the precise orbit injection might not have happened. Or we'll have to wait and see from the words from the chairman of like what actually happened there. The AzaadiSAT separation, guys.
मिशन की सफलता की औपचारिक घोषणा कुछ ही क्षणों में की जाएगी.
Have to wait and see. Yes, the mission has been completed, although the whenever the mission is completed, the mission control room is the first center wherein people are very happy. This is the launch control center. In the mission control, everyone is right now still analyzing some data points. I think what has happened is the VTM stage might not have properly worked.
Stay tuned to the ISRO media portals.
But still the orbit was, since that is just a velocity trimming module, which is just there for precise injection. So if that did not work also, then also it's a success because it has achieved the orbit. Just not the precise orbit. But still, everything is speculation right now. We'll have to wait and see what the official words say. Although they have separated both the EOS-02 and the AzaadiSAT, which means the orbital parameters were achieved. But how closely they were achieved, that's the main thing. Because VTM engine was supposed to run for around like 20 seconds and it just ran for 1 second. That did not look good at all. I don't know what is happening in the launch control center. They were celebrating, and now the launch control center is also like kind of not so celebrating. But we'll have to wait for the official words. Has the separation happened, or like what has happened? We'll have to wait
Visuals from
and
the
see.
mission control centers on your screens right now.
Yep, no one is showing the graph
Experts
anymore.
looking at their monitors very intently.
Adrian, those KSP is for you all to get an idea of where the rocket is, where the satellite is. So it's just for your reference.
आज़ादीसैट एक क्यूबसैट है जिसका भार करीब 8 केजी का है. इसमें कई सारे फेम्टो एक्सपेरिमेंट्स के लिए विभिन्न निदभार लगे हुए हैं. इन निदभारों को स्पेस किड्स इंडिया द्वारा एकीकृत किया गया है.
So we have lost the telemetry from the VTM stage. I think that's the tracking is not, the graph is not like moving forward. The vibes of Chandrayaan 2, oh god. No, that does not look good.
अभी तक उपग्रह से संपूर्ण संकेत नहीं आए हैं.
They are saying that the satellite has not communicated right now. So we are waiting for that. Let's see. This happened with Chandrayaan 2 also. This loss of data is very scary. We have to wait still, because the coverage here at ISRO is somewhat like this only. You know, people at mission control only knows what is actually happening, and commentators just they have I don't know what goes there, but we'll have to wait and see. Um, just wait. We'll have to wait and listen for the actual words from Chairman Somnath sir. The thing is, satellite could have been separated properly. Okay, the telemetry would have been lost for the VTM stage because something might have happened for the VTM one, because just saw there was an engine cut off at after just 1 millisecond of 100 millisecond of operation. That that is not how the engines work, obviously. So there was something obviously that did not went as per the plan. Now, was that a major failure, or or a thing which is just for which can just be avoided with the propulsion system of the satellite? It might have achieved the orbit, that's for sure. Although we need to look at the data. I am also trying to find the data points. Let me just rewind a bit and see. What did we there? The graph.
Good morning, all of you.
Okay.
The maiden flight of SSLV-D1 just now completed. The SSLV's all stages performed as expected. The first stage performed and separated. The second stage performed and separated. The third stage also performed and separated. And we had in the terminal phase of the mission, some data loss is occurring, and we are analyzing the data. And we will come back on the status of the satellites and as well as the vehicle performance soon. So until then, please bear with us that we are currently in the process of analyzing the data to conclude on the final outcome of the mission with respect to a stable orbit achieved or not. So please please wait, and we'll come back. Thank you so much for your patient viewing of this live telecast from SDSA SHAR. Thank you so much once again.
Okay. So as I said, there was some problem with the fourth stage. So the data is being analyzed right now. The loss of data might have occurred. So see, in these scenarios where the loss of data occurs, you know, what do they have there? They have the last sent data, and they analyze that data to see whether something went wrong with the flight, or there might be just some communication issue, because those the last last packet which has been sent from the satellite is is a good starting point to analyze what actually went wrong. So if that satellite, because whenever something goes wrong, there is a certain thing which is recorded in the computer and is sent to the control room, and if that is caught by the control room, then you can you can analyze that to deduce whether everything went normally, or there was some issue. Since he said that all stages performed nominally, that might okay. Let me just just a second, guys. Just hurry up. Oh, there was no worries. You can see, you will see, be able to see the data again. Worry about that. I'll rewind and do the analysis. So yeah, don't worry about that. There was some data there, but was lost because of the stream change. But yeah, right now the data is being analyzed. So let's just see the data what we just saw, and let's do our analysis to see what actually happened, maybe. Okay, so yeah, uh, there you go. So we got to see this thing here. 490.8 velocity, 7.2 kilometer per hour is per second. This does not look good. 7.2 kilometer per second. Nah, the orbit is very tight. Orbit is very tight. Now the something actually happened with this the third stage itself, because you know guys, the third stage also is newly developed rocket. They have fabricated the third stage from scratch, and that is newly developed, and the fourth stage also. So something started happening with the third stage, which you can see here, and then it just everything else range is good. All the chairmen of ISRO are discussing what actually might have happened. So yeah, because actually, you know, those commands to separate the satellite were given properly, right? And this kink here is does not look good. There might have some problem with the third stage, but we did see the separation of the third stage, right? So it is not like the third stage exploded or something like that. We did see the separation of the third stage. So what might have happened is that there might be some communication issue, but all the things, because you can see the VTM, this VTM thing is in here, right? The VTM start ignition cutoff is scheduled to happen here, and we have lost the data here. And we saw the separation of these satellite, the third stage and the fourth stage. So might be just the communication delay or communication issue, and the rocket might have performed nominally, because the commands were also given to separate and all those things. Now let's just see what actually is happening here. Okay, so they have ended the stream now. And start the analysis. Okay, what do you think, guys? What might have happened? Going to be commercialized? Yes, this is a totally commercialized rocket, Timothy. This is supposed to be commercialized. 7.2 kilometer per second is too fast. It is not fast for a good orbital velocity at 300 kilometers of altitude. Need around 8 kilometers per second, 7.5 at least. It does not look good, because the VTM stage itself was supposed to, you know, run for 20 seconds or so, and it was supposed to give some significant, like 200. This is the thing which I was talking about. Let's just see this thing once again. Okay, so this is the separation of the third stage. So the third stage separated perfectly. Okay, so this did not explode. So I think there's no problem with this third stage. You can see the separation.
अभी आप ऑन बोर्ड कैमरा की मदद से देख पा रहे हैं EOS.
And they just said EOS. I am just shutting off the feed audio right now. This is not EOS-2 separation, and this is the onboard camera view of the actual VTM stage. I don't think so. This is a deployed one. This is just the satellite which we can see. And from this feed, we can't. They have now cut off that feed. So we again saw something. There you go. So what was this? What is this? What is this? Okay, this might be just the sun, but this movement might tell. Okay, no, this is not sun. Was it sun? Or oh, did it just? Did we just see a roll? Uncontrolled roll? What? Like the camera is so blurry that we can't see proper things in here. Let me just go frame by frame here. Okay. Look at this Earth horizon. Okay, so this is okay. This is that only. Oh, okay, okay, all right. From this view, we can see that this is the view which is looking at the EOS-02. This is the onboard camera on the EOS-02 looking at the solar panels. So I think that was the sun only. But if that was the sun, then again this came here. Was it rolling uncontrollably? Seems like that. Hmm. Yep. Not so sure. I'm again telling you. These are all just what I'm deducing from the stream. So they are the people who have the proper data. So they or whatever I'm saying as the sun might just be a camera glare, but still, if the camera glare is also just move like that instantly, might be some uncontrolled roll or uncontrolled the VTM ignition might not have happened because guys, there are like 8 thrusters, main engine thrusters. 8 thrusters are there which need to burn, which needs to ignite, and if one of them also fails, then the roll is supposed to happen. This uncontrollable roll is supposed to happen. The torque would be induced, and thing would not be okay. So this might have happened. This can happen because since there are so many thrusters, so one of those thrusters may have failed. Still, this is all speculation, but this is what I think of. One of those thrusters or few of those thrusters may have failed. Because of that, uh, the roll was introduced in this uncontrollable roll, or torque was introduced in the stack, and that is the reason why the onboard computer commanded those VTM engines to shut down. That's why they only ran for just a millisecond, 100 millisecond. That's it. I'm still just, this is just um educated estimate right now, but people at ISRO are analyzing the data much more anything. So we'll have to wait and see. See, again, I'm telling you, this is not failed. Okay. Somnath sir confidently said that all the 4 stages performed as per the expectations. So there might be there might be the case that they just lost the communication, and everything might have happened properly. This loss of communication happens. Okay. This is the new stage which they have made, the VTM stage, and that has all those instrumentation for the communication and telemetry recording and whatnot. So something might have failed in that. So that does not mean the mission is failure, because the mission must have there is no person controlling at the ground, right? There is no remote control at the ground. A person playing like we play KSP. There is nothing like that. Everything is automated. So if there is only a loss of communication, then the mission would have completed successfully. The satellites would have separated as per the plan, and yes, mission might have completed. We are still just waiting for the data. Now, what ISRO is doing is they have analyzed it. They are analyzing the last packet which they have received. Okay, the last few packets which they have received. In those packets, they might find some uh, data in which can point to some failure, or like what actually happened, just a communication loss, or there was some certain sort of failure. And the biggest plus thing which they can see, and which they can verify, is that those satellites which they have launched, are they alive? Because if they are alive, they'll be able to send the signal log back to earth, and those satellites will be able to send their coordinates, kind of, you can say GPS location, right? Like how they are they healthy, where they are, what's the orientation and whatnot. So that data can also be used for the computation of what actually happened with the fourth stage. So if the satellites are healthy, that means the fourth stage might just have that communication problem. Everything might have completed as per the plan, but still, this needs to be analyzed properly. So yeah, that is that. This was the last thing which we saw. This everything is yellow here because yellow means that the radar might. Why the radar is also not tracking, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, because if it is in the orbit, radar will be able to track it and see its orientation, and not the orientation but the, I don't know how does the radar work, but they might be able to find whether it's there or not. Is that would be able that they will be able to find that. But today it was a cloudy day, so let's see. I'm not so much experts of radar here, so I don't have knowledge of how those work. But uh 7.215 kilometers per second. Let me just compute what would be the velocity needed to achieve the orbit. 350 kilometer. 7.7 kilometer per second at 350 kilometer. That is the speed needed for the orbit. Okay. Around 7.7 kilometers per second is needed for the orbit. So if and though that extra 500 meter per 500 point, yeah, 500 meter per second velocity uh, was supposed to increase with the help of VTM stage, and that VTM uh, did not perform well. So we'll have to wait and see. Still, they might be at a lower orbit. They not be at a circular orbit, 350 kilometer circular orbit, but at that speed they might be at, like, 120 kilometer into 350 kilometer orbit. Not so sure. Like, I had to do the math here to determine what might be the actual orbit with these parameters. But right now things are like this only, and yes, let's see what do they say in Twitter. Mm, not looking good. What, was there a bird? everyone was also saying that, yeah, the bird. RIP bird. I think this whenever this bird thing happens, there is always some problem. Why is the expense trending? Whatever. Let's. Nope. Nothing. No official update from them yet. Nope. Nothing is there. So we are stuck with the people trying to do. Okay. All three stages perform data loss in VTM. Three stages of SSLV performed well. Okay. The loss in VTM stage is analyzing a vehicle performance and whether or not satellites are placed in the desired orbit. We'll have to wait for the analysis. Okay. Rocket to the launch pad. Wow. Okay. No, no update as such. I think people in the US are still might be sleeping right now or what? Because they are the one who analyze these things firsthand. The one, he's the master of these things. He has not tweeted anything yet, so we might not be able to. What about space track? Also have not tracked anything. Yeah, someone run across the launch pad. No, that was a bird. Oh, the RIP bird. Actually, okay. This was not a good sign, right? Sir, so we don't have any update from third stage. A bit of wobble. Yep, this did not look like right, and yep, they are very simple and to the point. They don't have a fancy names or whatever. Okay. So guys, still waiting on the data. We are waiting to see how the things are looking. Okay, space junk. All right. So we don't have those update here. Updates here right now to as to like what happened. But cool. So we need to analyze this data only. Let's just see. Once again. So guys, what do you think? What might have happened? It's 10:30 p.m. here in the US. I don't know why, but he's the one people in the US, I have been following these launches for quite a long time. If you are a subscriber, you know that. And people in the US are the first one to note these events and do the analysis. But I don't know why they are silent today. Okay, so we are. God manly, wake up. Yes, he's the one. Always with the good analysis and whatnot. But yep, the burb curse. I have seen many rockets wherein this happens. This burb, this bird kind of thing happens, and that those rockets do not perform well. No, bird did not perform throw off any calculation or anything like that. It's just a bad juju. No, nothing related to hacking. Yes, Roy McDonald, a velocity of 7.8 kilometer per second is needed. That's what 7.8, 7.7. It sounds like the final stage might be short of that speed. No, actually, the final stage was supposed to, increase the speed from that 7.2 to 7.8 or 7, whatever you are saying, because those the final stage was supposed to burn for around 20 seconds or so, and it has like 50 Newton thrusters, so 8 of 50 Newton thrusters would be burning. So we don't have the actual calculations of what is the ISP and what is that, but let me just tell you that yes, final insertion was supposed to happen with the VTM only, and that did not happen. Although we did see the separation of the third stage and the fourth stage, and it was a clean separation, there was no explosion. So third stage, I think, yes, there was no problem in the third stage. The fourth stage is also a new stage, and that's a liquid one. So I told you, right, this ISRO has mastered solids, right? ISRO does not fear solids. You can do anything. You can do anything with solids. You can just say them to do anything with solids and they'll do happily. But when it comes to liquids, they'll have to do some work. So talking about the underperformance from the first stage, so that is all right. Okay, that is what should I say? Might have performed. That was not to the point, not bullseye, but still was good enough for the first flight. So it is not underperforming like by a huge margin. That type of margin is acceptable. Okay, there was 2 payloads. Yes, there was 2 payloads. Why was this rocket designed with 4 stage CB mainly? So number of stages are determined by the like what type of orbit you want to achieve, and what are the launch hazard area that you have to, because those stages have to be dropped also, right? So if you are launching a rocket which has big stages, and those stages might burn out at that point of time where it can land on a hazardous area, so it won't be good. So that's why sometimes they split up according to that, but most of the time it is just the fuel requirements, right? Just the best case scenario which they come up with. This is the fuel, this is the thing which we can come up with. Like for the solids, it's always good to just detach the spent stage, because the solids are they always, first of all, they don't have constant thrust. once that they have this near the completion of the burn. Because of that, some problems occurs. Sometimes that residual thrust is like too much, or sometimes it is too less. So because of that, they need to the main reason they split up is because of the requirements of the orbit and how the launch hazard area is, as well as what type of fuel they are using, and the optimization of the overall optimization of the rocket. Because they once you detach the stage, the rocket becomes lighter. So in this case, the first stage produces around like 2,500 kilonewtons of thrust. The second stage produces around 250 kilonewtons of thrust. So see that thrust level drop, right? So they need to, there is some full design team which they have, which has this work only to optimize the number of stages and the rocket itself, so that it can perform well. Okay, so new tweet from ISRO. Okay. I am going. Okay, I am seeing. Wait a sec. I am seeing. Very. Okay. Maiden flight of SSLVs can all stages perform data loss is observed during the terminal stage. It is. So this is the thing which we already know. So maiden flight of SSLV is completed. All stages performed as expected. All stages, not 3 stages. All stages. Okay. Then data loss is observed during the terminal stage. It is being analyzed. We will be updated soon. So if the ISRO is saying that all stages performed as expected, that means the last packet or the last few packets which they received in those packets, they did not observe any fault in the stage, on the upper stage, on the last stage. So this might be just pure communication issue, wherein the antenna might have, like, I don't know, the communications, there is so much radiation in space that a certain bit parity the computer store memories and everything in bits, right? And what radiation causes, they changes the bit from 1 to 0 or 0 to 1, and because of that, all the file could get corrupted, the commands can get corrupted, the communication cannot happen. Sometimes these things happen, although they do those radiation hardening and those radiation shielding, but still sometimes it can happen. So the communication there, this all stages performed as expected, if it is true, because they said, this is the ISRO official account, so they are saying all stages performed as expected, which means all stages performed nominally as per them, as per the last few packets which they received. So I think this might just be a communication failure. If it's a communication failure, then that they will just will get to know the health, the status of the satellites by analyzing the health of the satellite, because the satellites are there, they have their own communication system, own power generation system, everything is there. So if they can communicate with the satellites which they have released and get to know their orbital parameters, then they can finally come up with like whether the mission was success or whether it was not. So yes, this is what they say. Will be updated soon. Yes. So guys, if you like my analysis and the work which I am doing, please give this a like and subscribe for more, because on this channel I do like this only, like I do all the commentary, as well as if anything goes wrong, I do the live mission analysis also, failure analysis also. So if you are into this stuff, I cover almost all the launches that happens in the space industry. I have the videos also, related to space and rockets. So if you are into these, please hit that subscribe button, and it would mean a lot. It would mean a lot if you can become a member or a Patreon, because for me, YouTubers like me who rely on live streams only, main source of income is the memberships and Patreon only. So if you can do that, it would mean a lot. Okay. Yes, Baba Yada, that is one thing that it fired only for like 0.1 minute, 0.1 second. So the ISRO official account is saying all stages performed as expected. So what can we say then? Yep. EOS EOS was not separated actually. The separation which you saw was of the VTM stage and the third stage. That separation was not of the EOS. So EOS, we saw the separation event of the EOS as well as the AzaadiSAT initiated, which means the commands were given. That's why those flight events, those things were recorded in the flight event. So everything went as per the plan. They have been released, so have to wait and see. So that is not the satellite separation video. I know you are getting confused because they said like that. Let me just tell you, this is not a satellite separation video which we saw. This is the separation of the third stage. This is the third stage, not the VTM stage. The third stage separated from the VTM, because if it was it is not a fourth stage at all. This you know, this structure, this what should I say, this hemispherical structure is there in the solid stage. The liquid, the upper stage is fully flat. Let me just tell you, show you how this looks like. This the fourth stage looks like. So here you can see, if it was a separation of the EOS, you can see there is a flat plate like structure here, right? And other things are there. That was not the separation of the EOS. This did not separate. This whole stack was separated, and this is the VTM stage, the fourth stage, the velocity trimming module. Although they did say that what the commentators in the official webcast said it was this EOS separation, but it was not an EOS separation. I already knew at that point of time also, and I said that. So yep. There you go. This is the third stage separation. This is the onboard camera view, which is looking up at the EOS-02. Then we saw this view. This is this thing which you can see. This is also that camera only, which the onboard camera which is looking at the satellite. But this glare, because you can see also this horizon, actually, you know, this increased in size. So this increase in size that can only happen when it's trying to face the side of the earth. It might just be trying to, because at this point of time this cutoff has already happened, right, according to these events. So there is that, and you also got to see the me just see the latest one. What was there in the latest? So here also we can't see this flight events, because here the satellite, you can see the satellite separation was supposed to happen here. I think the satellite separation commands were also not given properly, but they were clapping in the launch control center. This is so confusing. Just so confusing. Clapping in the launch control center with the EOS-02 separation confirmed, the AzaadiSAT confirmed. I just don't know. And let's just hear it once, and they really actually just said if those satellites were separated properly.
Ignition, cutoff, and EOS-03-02 separation, AzaadiSAT separation, these flight events have taken place.
जी हाँ, इसकी पुष्टि कर दी गई है। EOS-2 तथा AzaadiSAT को उनके उद्देश्य कक्षा में स्थापित कर दिया गया है।
They are saying that it has been the flight events have taken place, but it was not displayed in that information which we got to see, right? Latest one was what we get to see after this one. Nope. Got to see this, right? They said that yeah, so this separation has happened. Okay, so those commands were given, the flight events has happened. So yeah, if the separation commands, the flight, if it is noted in the flight events, which means the commands were given. It did not responded back, or what has happened, that is their job to do, to analyze the things which actually happened. But there you go, separation actually happened. Okay guys, latest information is this only, that ISRO is still analyzing the data. It would take some time to see what actually happened, but Jonathan McDowell tweeted, okay, finally, let me just see that. Where it was launched by ISRO, was lost about 9 minutes. Rocket got close to the orbit but may have fallen a bit short, waiting for the confirmation. Way, please do your magic and tell us what actually might have to wait and see. The view from the launch view gallery, if you go to the launch view gallery, you would see like this, how it looks like, and you get to see the rocket from up close. This will just was not a person, that might just be a bird or something. I know this clip will just go viral in India. Hey, So guys, I think that is pretty much about it. We'll have to wait for the official confirmation, but for now, according to this data, whatever we are seeing right now, 7.2 kilometer per second is not the velocity that we want. This might be, they might fall short because of this velocity, but still, again, this data is not updated. If they have got a proper communication loss, which means this data is also not updated. So we'll have to wait and see, and see the confirmation from ISRO, like what actually happened here. But other than that, everything went as per the plan. The first stage, second stage, third stage performed nominally without any problem, although you might see some underperformance in the graph here, but still that is all good. That is not a big problem. So yes, I think that is pretty much about it. So we'll have to wait and see what actually happened, but according to me, there was some problem with the BTM stage, that's for sure. The all stages performed as per the expected statement from ISRO is kind of, I don't know. If they are saying they might have checked something, that's why they are saying. So we'll have to wait and see what actually happened. But yeah, that is pretty much about it. And also, guys, this is the thing. This is the video which I made. You can see that by going to my channel. You will see that in the here only. This the first video. You can give some love and see what tell me what actually you think of. This was the ISRO's biggest expo. Here they showcase various models of the rockets. You'll get to know the scale also because of that. Models of the satellites. There was whole section for the human space flight one. So everything is there. This was just a part 1. Part 2 will come. So if you are into this, please do watch this one. So yep, if you have any questions, you can ask me now. भाई इतना टाइम लगेगा? अभी हम वो कर क्या रहे हैं, वो अपना लास्ट में जो डेटा मिला है, उनको लास्ट जो सिग्नल मिला है उसका डेटा एनालाइज कर रहे हैं अभी, और अभी तक जो उनको एनालाइज करके आया है, क्योंकि उन्होंने ट्वीट कर दिया है, तो उससे ये बोला है कि सारे जितने भी स्टेज थे उन्होंने सही से काम किया है. अगर वो बोल रहे हैं सही से काम किया, तो सही से काम किया होगा. का मतलब मेनली हो सकता है बस कि जो कम्युनिकेशन प्रॉब्लम हो वही हुई हो, कोई एंटीना प्रॉब्लम या सिग्नल प्रॉब्लम वैसा कुछ हुआ होगा. बट सैटेलाइट और वो स्टेज ने सही परफॉर्म किया, बस कम्युनिकेशन लॉस होगा अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट ट्वीट, इफ़ ऑल स्टेज परफॉर्म नॉमिनली. बट अभी उनको टाइम लगेगा पूरा अच्छे से डेटा को एनालाइज करने में, पर हो जाएगा. फिर वो देखेंगे, फिर हमें ट्वीट मिलेगा, उनके अपडेट कर देंगे कि एक्चुअली में इट वॉज अ सक्सेस और इट वॉज अ फेलियर. Oh, any luck with finding the tools for micro-racing? Actually, I looked for it. You can actually now see there is equatorial launch service from in Australia, right? The equatorial launch company. You can actually approach them because they are in Australia. They are the company which did the sounding rocket launch from Australia. So you can approach them and ask for the assistance. I'm sure they'll be able to help you. Objective of the mission was to test first of all the SSLV, the new rocket, and deploy 2 satellites. Yes, there was a trajectory variation at the end, but that can happen sometimes. That can happen, although that king might signify that there was some problem, but still that can happen and that can now be taken care of also. So I think that should be it. I haven't slept all night, guys. I have been up all night preparing for this stream, preparing those animations which you saw, and researching about the SSLV rocket. I haven't slept at all. Now I am like, ooh, I was very excited, but now that excitement has gone down, so I'm feeling very sleepy. I need to go and sleep. but hopefully when I wake up I'll get some good news. If I do, do follow me on Twitter, guys. I'll update you with whatever news or whatever logic which I deduce. So this is my Twitter handle at Rocket Gyan. I am available at every location at Rocket Gyan only, so you can follow me here, and whatever will be the update I'll post here, and you'll get to see. This is not EOS-2. It was a VTM scene from. Yes, it was. It was not a VTM. It was not a VTM. Saurabh, if you're watching this stream, it was not a VTM. It's the third stage. Okay, the third stage. They have confused everyone. The estimate trajectory from launch site. Okay. The fourth VTM stage did not fire. Vehicle would complete about half an orbit and fall in the Pacific near the third stage. Whoa. After passing over the Australia. There you go. The man has said himself. So if the fourth stage, if the fourth stage did not fire, it would fall back to the Earth. Would fall back. The orbit did not complete. So there was not like, it was not like what I was saying, 350 kilometer by like 120 kilometer. It is inside the atmosphere. So perigee is inside the atmosphere. Lowest point of the orbit is inside the atmosphere. So it would burn up in the atmosphere and fall over Australia and New Zealand after passing over Australia. So like here, somewhere here. So just hope that the fourth stage fired, because if it didn't, then it's a bad thing. The launch gallery people were there, but so these are the views which came from the launch view gallery itself. This is how the thing looked like from the launch view gallery. Yeah, if it was a clear day, they will be able to see it much more clearly, but yeah, was it? All right. Fine, then I think that is pretty much about it for today, and I'll go to sleep for now, and hopefully when I wake up I'll be there. Oh, thank you so much for becoming a member. ठीक है भाई, thank you भाई बनने के लिए. बहुत हेल्प करता है सब. मेन चीज़ें सिर्फ इनसी से होती है. एड रेवेन्यू कुछ नहीं आता स्ट्रीम्स में. Okay. Have you seen launches in person? Nope, I haven't, but I was supposed to see this one in person. So was it a good decision or a bad decision that I did not go? I was supposed to see this one in person, but registration, the two things were closed. The launch view gallery was open, but the park and I think the museum was closed. I thought it would be good to travel, like it's not like near my place, it's like 700 kilometers from. I have to like travel a lot, so thought it would be when I started there, I went in for registration also, and those registrations closed. I'll see what I can cover actually. I might go to see the next one, or maybe an interesting one, because the SSLV launch is supposed to happen in this quarter again. If it was successful only, that was the criteria. That we'll have to wait and see. But other than that, we will be having some Gaganyaan flight, those those test vehicle missions, the in-flight abort missions, those missions will happen, but I don't think so those will be open to public. We'll have to wait and see. But is there any major mission coming in? Okay, yeah, Chandrayaan 3 might launch by the end of the year. That's what I have heard. So we'll have to wait. If that happens, that I'll go for that launch. So yeah, check Twitter again. Okay, what is there in Twitter? -58, dude. Yep. Okay, fine. -58. If this means that it was inside the Earth. It was inside, not even inside the atmosphere. Minus means the lowest point in the orbit was inside the Earth, which means it is directly falling. If no atmosphere also was, if there was no atmosphere also, then also it would fall back onto the Earth. So minus means if the lowest point in the orbit is inside the Earth, it will just fall back to the Earth if it did not fire. So yeah, this was the calculation which I was supposed to do, the maths, but obviously it would take some time. Okay, so I think that should be it then. I always say this, but then it happens, right? Okay, yeah. So this one, yes, Baba Yada, thank you so much for that update. So this -58 kilometers is not good at all. It simply means it was not even above the atmosphere. It is inside the Earth. Means definitely if it didn't fire, if it fired for 0.1 second, it's a total failure, complete failure. So we'll have to wait and see that. -58 would be around for the third stage, right? Yeah, depends on the VTM exactly. If it did not fire, it's in the it's in the orbit of the third stage only. So yeah. So I think that should be it, guys. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll go sleep now. It's 10. I haven't slept for like so many hours now. So thank you so much for joining in. Hopefully when I wake up we'll get some good news. That's what I hope for. But if we don't, then also don't worry and don't take any tension, because this is space flight. This is how they learn. This is how people learn in the rocket industry. Whenever the first flight happens, that flight is mainly for acquiring the data and making sure everything is going fine. So we'll have to wait and see. If main part was till the main parts, like the first, second and third stage were if they performed fine, if they performed well, which means the SSLV rocket itself, the whole rocket itself is good enough to go. VTM stage is like a minor part of the whole rocket, and that is a thing which they have mastered. The technology which they have used for the making of VTM stage is already they have mastered. That is not very they have not developed any new engine. They are using the thrusters which they use in the on the satellites. So that is not a new thing for them. So if anything is not wrong with the is wrong with the VTM, then also it does not matter, because they'll correct it in the next launch. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you liked the stream. So if you did, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and do support me if you can by becoming a member. It would really help me, or a Patreon, as per your choice. So, and yes, there is some behind the scenes content coming in for the members and the Patreons for that blog, so that you can consider becoming that. And until then, this is Priyanshu Roila. You just saw Rocket Gyan. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye bye.